I found aspirational examples. So I found people who were in my shoes and have done what I've done. It really, they started their dream second. I don't even want to call it career, just vocation, because it's really a calling. This is something you can't not do. So if you're watching this video and you've always wanted to do this, I hope this is just really speaking to you, because like you want to do this so badly, you just don't know how to make it happen. It's based on what we just talked about, this first fear of losing your quality of life. Hi, welcome to Made to Matter. I am your host and founder, Adam Landrum, where we are excited to be helping men find and live their purpose in their second half, in particular in terms of starting their own business, whether it's a solopreneur or an entrepreneur or even self-employed. Really, those terms are all sort of the same thing. It's just a matter of how much you want to scale. And we're going to address one of the biggest obstacles in that hold men back from being able to do this. And this is the idea of financial fear. So let's dive into this topic over the next couple of minutes, and hopefully you'll get a nugget or two that would help free you to move forward, because this one really holds a lot of people back. And it makes a lot of sense, right? And I can totally relate to this. I mean, the first fear around financial freedom that I see most often is, the men you've had certain success, you have probably saved a nice financial nest egg for retirement, or maybe not. Maybe this is why you want to do that. But you've come to enjoy a certain level quality of life and standard of living. And so going from your cushy job that maybe you're getting overpaid a little bit too much, and that's a good strategy but for your company to keep you there. But you're going, gosh, how could I possibly do this? How could I leave my salary? How could I leave health insurance? How could I leave the benefits? I've got the country club, and I've got the new truck, and I've got the all the trappings that you enjoy and that your current job is helping you enjoy, and your family enjoys this if you have a family, right? And so you're saying, gosh, yeah, I've always wanted to do that thing, but I just don't see how I could possibly replace that income, replace that revenue, and maintain my lifestyle. So I get it. I'm with you. I live in a great area. Well, I actually live in a great city. It's become way more expensive, as most places have in the recent years. I live in a really cool part of town. I love to play golf and tennis, so that means I'm a member at a country club. And hey, I have 4 kids, 3 of which I'm putting through school right now, through college. So yeah, my lifestyle is high. The stakes are high, and yet, call me crazy, I still went out and started my second business now. I sold my first. And so yeah, a little bit it's like, well, Adam, how did you do that? Or how did you get over that initial fear of like, don't sacrifice my quality of life. I can't let go of my quality of life. Well, here's what I did. And I think this can help you. First of all, I found aspirational examples. So I found people who were in my shoes and have done what I've done. It really, they started their dream second. I don't even want to call it career, just vocation, because it's really a calling. This is something you can't not do. So if you're watching this video and you've always wanted to do this, I hope this is just really speaking to you, because like you want to do this so badly, you just don't know how to make it happen. It's based on what we just talked about, this first fear of losing your quality of life. So I found people who had done it. They had pretty short runways. One guy that I know who has successfully done this had 6 weeks of runway to make it happen. And sometimes that's the best thing, right? It puts the pressure on, and so they did. But I kept talking to coaches, and I was like, well, what's your fee structure? How much do you charge? How much can you make in a year? And to be quite honest, I was absolutely blown away by what people charge and what they can make as an executive coach. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, gosh, yeah, I can do this. So that would be the first thing, is like, find those aspirational examples. And then the second, the second part of this first fear of maintaining your quality of life and replacing your income would be is really to know the model. Like, and I always say, if it can't work on a napkin, if you can't pencil this out, then guys, it's not going to just magically happen. Like I think you got to have the model and you got to see, okay, well, if I have X number of clients or if I do this, like, is that reasonable? How long would that take me? And once you have that model, that should give you more confidence to sort of go to the next level. All right. The next thing would be this idea of, is of running out of money. So one thing is like, hey, how can I maintain my lifestyle? And maybe I have savings, maybe I have different things, and I've got some runway. I've got 6 months, I've got a year, I've got 18 months. By the way, 18 months would be a luxury, a luxury. And so again, I think I can relate to this. Is like I have a certain runway that I'm looking at, and I'm like, okay, well, I have to do X, Y, and Z. Again, what I said previously is like, I think this is a good thing. When you take away safety nets or you make your safety net smaller, it makes you act. It makes you get after it, right? When you have endless savings or endless exit points, well, guess what? When the going gets tough, you're gonna take those exits. So I think running out of money is actually it's a fear, and it's a good fear. I do think there are good types of fears. And so what is your runway? Is it 6 months? Is it 8 months? Is it a year? I mean, if you can get a solid runway in terms of savings, then great. That pressure is good. So I wouldn't have this keep you from doing it, because this is somewhat of a reality that you probably need. So like I said, I had a buddy who had 6 weeks and he is making $250,000 now. He replaces income. He is doing what he loves. It can be done. It can happen. But if you have that model and you have a solid business plan, then you put this fear aside and you go for it. Right. And then lastly is losing retirement savings. So this is the idea of like, hey, you've been working hard. You've stored up those 401ks and maybe IRAs, and you have these retirement savings. And you know that if you run out of money, you can always go tap into those sources. I have that too. And I basically look at my retirement savings as off limits. I mean, maybe it's a super emergency backup, but overall, I do not want to touch those. I have plans for that money, and that's when I'm old and decrepit, and I want to make sure that I'm not starving or my kids are taking care of me. So my take is like, yeah, I want to keep those off limits. But you could also say, hey, you know what? I'm willing to do 100,000. I'm willing to do 200,000 based on your situation. But so that's what I'd recommend is that you define what that is. And if you hit that, then, hey, maybe it's time to pull the plug and you'd be going back and looking for a job again, which sounds awful to me. So I like the alternative, make it work, like make the business work. All right. So here's, just to wrap it up. Hey, the financial fears are real. And I would say it's probably the number one problem most men deal with when they want to launch their vocation, when they want to go do a business that really feels like it is their calling. You're going to have fear around my current lifestyle. You're going to have a fear around, what if I run out of money? You're going to have fear around of like, oh gosh, I don't want to eat into my retirement. That totally makes sense. I have all those fears as well. But I don't make fears bad. I welcome them and I say, hey, how can they help inform me? What do I need to know to get this fear comfortable? So they're almost like messengers saying, hey, wake up, have a plan, know what you're doing, instead of like going, oh my gosh, I have a fear and I'm just going to ignore it. What typically happens when we shine the light on our fears, we see that they're more shadow than they are substance. They're more shadow than they are substance. So what that means is like, there's not much there once you really look at it. And so I think if you can systematically address each of these fears, have a loose plan of how you can put their minds at ease, if you will, then you can free up some action. You can free up some movement and start moving towards your vocation. Of course, a guide, a coach, I happen to know one or two good ones, can help in this. And so I encourage you, if you got that dream, if you want that vocation, go after it. Address your fears, lean into your fears. Don't lean away from them and just stay stuck in what you've always been doing. There's so much upside and so much good things that happen when you pursue the vocation of your dreams. I wish you all the best and hope to see you next time. Take care.